Welcome to Critical Skills 101. In this first video I'm going to discuss a little bit about how the course works to help you get started. I'm going to discuss the principles that underpin the course and how what the course is all about. I'm going to try and make a link between the way the course is built and the main focus of the course, which is independent learning, which is going to be one of your main things to kind of think about during week one. And then finally I'm going to just go through the week's assignments and reading and what exactly you need to do during this first week of the course. My name is James Mickey and I'm the course leader. I teach at the Chalfont Community College and you can find me in various places online, and you can contact me at any time during the course via email or via Twitter. And my Twitter handle is there at James Mickey, so you can get in touch with me and ask me any questions that you need to ask. The course is structured with various different parts, beginning with a video at the beginning of each week, like the one that you're watching right now. There is reading to be done. It will be made up of a variety of articles, some short, some long, and sometimes videos. There are several videos in this first week looking at what independent learning is and the idea of how intelligence and things like that. There's a weekly Twitter discussion, and in fact in this first week there are actually two, because there's a meet and greet that is happening on Monday. An assignment each week, something that you need to focus on. This week is a survey, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later in the video. A blog post, which is for you to reflect on your learning and your progress, and commenting, giving feedback to different participants. That's something that is kind of new to this version of the course and something that I want to try out as part of the course itself, so we'll see how that goes. You can find things on the blog. There's a page for each week, so hopefully if you found this video you have probably found the page for week one. There's also an archive of all the posts and information that gets put up on the blog, and a frequently asked questions section, which is a good place to start if you're just getting started on the course and you're not sure about everything. A lot of the questions that previous participants have asked have been kind of covered on the frequently asked questions page. Twitter is a really important part of the course. It's how we kind of keep in touch and discuss ideas and stay up to date. So there's a hashtag for the course, Crit101. Please use that in your own tweets, and if you want to find out what's going on, search the hashtag and you'll find all of the tweets that relate to the course. The weekly Twitter discussion, which happens usually on a Wednesday in the evening, that is also archived and will be posted to the blog. So if you aren't able to attend that discussion live, you can at least read back over the tweets and see what was said. The Twitter discussion is really important in helping you to kind of gather your thoughts and ideas before completing the week's assignment. All participants' posts are syndicated with the blog. You all had to give your blog address when you enrolled, so after you publish your first post I'll be syndicating your blogs to the main Critic 101 blog. That allows me to see whether you're up to date in your work and whether you are keeping up with your posts. It gives a central point for other participants to be able to find what you've been posting. Particularly important for your comment group that you're going to be put into. Be much easier to find your fellow participants' posts just by going to the Crit 101 blog and seeing what's been updated. So the course, how does it work? Well, you work at your own pace to an extent. The course is quite collaborative, but essentially you do get to set your own timetable. So at the beginning of each week there is an introductory video, but it's up to you what time of day you choose to watch that. The weekly discussion, Twitter discussion, happens at the same time pretty much each week, which is usually on a Wednesday between 7 and 8 PM. So that's the only real kind of slot where we all are online together. Assignment and blog post deadlines do need to be met, and your time to hand them in is on a Sunday at about 10 AM. The reason for that is so that for your comment group to work, you can perhaps later on a Sunday read what other people have posted and then offer them some feedback and some ideas. The commenting and kind of feedback is really important. It's about developing a bit of a support network, having other participants on the course that you can turn to and get ideas from. So collaboration is really important within the course, and you can even earn a badge for collaboration itself. Badges, as you know, if you've looked at the What is Crit 101 kind of slides, you'll know a part of it as well. So please have a look at the badges page on the blog. You can earn badges for various different skills: research, analysis, collaboration, reflection, and you earn them as the course goes along. That's just another word on assignments and blog posts. Yeah, as I've said, they should be published to your blog, the blog that you submitted on your enrollment form. So if there is a change to that at all as we get started on the course, please do let me know. It's important that I know where you're posting your work to, and they should be posted by 10 AM each Sunday. Really, really important. In your posts, particularly for those of you who might be new to blogging, there is usually a space in your editing area when you're writing a post for you to put maybe, if it's on WordPress, there's a space to put a category, Blogger, a label, Tumblr, I believe they call it a tag. But if you can include Crit 101 in your posts as a category tag or label, it will help with the syndicating of posts to the main blog. It just helps keep everything organized, and organization is really quite important. As I mentioned earlier, there's an archive on the Crit 101 blog. It's a really easy way to find what people have been posting. So if you just click on archive at the top, you can see the most recent posts that have been put up. Just while I'm on this screen as well, you can see what the Crit Skills 101 blog looks like. There's an about page which gives information about the course. Enrollment is still open, and it's going to stay open during week 1, so if you know anybody else that you might think wants to do the course, please tell them about it. That's where they can go to enroll. And the course outline is the most important part of the blog, because it tells you each week what you've got to do, gives you your reading assignments and things like that. Comments. I've already mentioned that they're important. I've put a link to a slideshow, which is really useful. It gives a kind of series of just guidance and sentence starters and just some good advice on how to go about commenting on each other's work. It's supposed to be a positive process and a constructive process, so it's not about picking holes in what people have done, but about offering them ways to develop and improve their work. And just a really important note, if you are using Tumblr, that's fine. It's a great platform to blog quickly and efficiently. But unlike WordPress and Blogger, it doesn't come with comments installed. So there's a great free system called Discuss. You can sign up for free. It doesn't cost any money, and there are some instructions which will show you how to install comments on your Tumblr blog. So please have a go at doing that. If you get completely stuck, do drop me an email or a tweet, and I will help you get that sorted. But it's really, really important that you are able to get feedback and comments, both from myself and from other participants on the course, on your various posts and assignments that you complete as the course goes along. Okay, let's move on. That was kind of some of the nuts and bolts of the course, and more of how the course works will become clear as we go along. Why Crit 101? That is the kind of theme for week 1, and I suppose the week is about, it's 50% about figuring out yourself as a learner, how you kind of see yourself, and the learner survey that you've got to take is a big portion of that. It's about considering why you've decided to take the course and what you hope to get out of it. And then the other 50% is considering what is independent learning or interdependent learning. I'm going to discuss both of those terms in just a moment. And also whether you think you can become a more independent learner. Is it something that you can learn to be better at? Or is it something that is kind of natural or inherent in you? And that's something that I want you to explore this week. This is what I think independent learning is. It's a definition I've come to over time from doing a range of research projects, from my experiences of working with students inside and outside of the classroom, and from some studies that I've done as part of my Masters. Learning is defined, organized and completed by the learner. Educators may act as facilitators or guides. However, the learner is encouraged to plot their own path, valuing their peers' and experts' input equally. developing interdependent learning strategies. And I put interdependent in there because my true belief is that being an effective independent learner is not just about working on your own. Actually, in fact, it's about knowing when you need help and being able to know where to turn, whether that's to be able to turn to the web and conduct research and find information that you need to support you in your learning, whether that's to turn to friends, your peers, and get support from them, or when you do need to turn around to somebody who is considered to be an expert, a teacher perhaps, and ask them for help. And that's as much a part of being an independent learner as anything else. Where does some of this stem from? Well, one of the things that I found as a teacher, particularly in secondary school, is that there is a lot of spoon feeding that takes place, and I find that really saddens me quite a lot, and it's something that I try not to enter into in my own classroom. I think we often forget that when you're born and you're a child, you're allowed to kind of just explore and figure stuff out for yourself, and everything's very kind of creative and free. And it seems to me that throughout your time going through school, that creativity and that opportunity to kind of explore and be free in your learning is kind of taken away from you, and that students often become far too dependent on their teacher to actually learn. And it wasn't the case when you got started with your learning, when you were playing with blocks or you were finding out what colours were for the first time and things like that. So what I think becoming a better independent learner is about recapturing some of that ability and willingness to go and explore things for yourself, to figure stuff out, and to be prepared to make mistakes and fail a little bit, but it's okay because you can pick yourself up and carry on. And I guess that resilience, therefore, is also quite important in being an independent learner. So the course itself is about skills, but it's also about characteristics. And during this week, I want you to consider these ideas. And I want you to certainly, consider them when you're conducting your learner survey. So when you're filling out the survey, it's split into two sections, skills and characteristics. It's going to really ask you to kind of be honest with yourself and think about what skills do you currently hold that could help you be an independent learner, and what do you think you need to improve, and which of these characteristics do you have, and are they part of your makeup already? Are they something that you need to develop and improve on? In the skills side, we've got things like research and the ability to ask questions effectively. Really, really important, as you'll see in week 2. Being able to analyze and critique a text, which will be coming up in week 3. To synthesize ideas and evaluate things, will be coming up in sort of week 5. To be able to collaborate, really, really important. I think it's both a characteristic and a skill. Really, it takes part of yourself, your inner personality, to be able to work effectively with others, but there are strategies that you can put in place and tools that you can use to be a good collaborator. On the characteristics side, I think motivation is really important. It certainly became clear with the previous group that took the course that motivation was at the heart of independent learning. You might agree or you might disagree, and that's something that we'll discuss on Wednesday in our first full weekly Twitter discussion. Managing your time and being able to prioritize this. Obviously, you're picking up a course that is additional to your school workload, so you have got to be good about how you use your time effectively if you're going to stay on top of the course and get right through the 6 weeks to the end of it. An independent learner is someone that can fail well, I think, and someone that reflects on their learning and is prepared to pick themselves up, think about what went well, but also consider what went wrong and work their way through strategies to improve and get better. One of the keys to this is I suppose viewing learning as part of like a connected web, and that certainly I know for myself as an adult learner, I don't get very far on my own all the time. I mean, I'm fine working on my own if I need to, and I can certainly use the web as a great tool. But even then, if you really think about it, the minute you turn to the World Wide Web, you're not really working on your own, because for example, if I hop over to Wikipedia to kind of find a piece of information, for example, that was put together by a group of different people that collaborated. So really I'm turning to others who have the knowledge to get that information. But I think that really effective learning is about using your peers as a support network and being able to turn to them and share ideas, to discuss, to collaborate, to move things forward. And certainly for me personally, Twitter has played a big part in that I can turn to other teachers and ask questions, that we share resources with each other, and that helps us move forward. And I think that's part of what the world is becoming. Whatever career you go into, you're going to be using social media in some form to connect with other people in your industry and to link up and connect. So that's quite important, and it's an integral part of the principles on which this course is built. So what are we working towards? Well, we're heading toward interdependence, I hope. And I use the term interdependence kind of loosely, which is why the ter is in parentheses here, because this course is about being independent, and it's about you taking on a role as a learner that is very much set at your own pace about what you want to do, but it's also about connecting with other people on the course. One of the underpinning principles of the course is this idea of connectivism, and I've put some links on the week 1 page related to connectivism for you, so you can just read a little bit about what it means. But in my understanding, it's about the fact that if you really want to make the most out of this course, if you really want to become a more effective independent learner, it's going to take some interdependent learning. It's going to take connecting with others, sharing of ideas, and supporting one another if you're going to get to the end of the course. And I think that it's a really powerful thing to connect with other people and to see how your learning develops when you're challenged by other people in the course, because you're not always going to agree with what they have to say. You're going to be working at different points on the course with another person directly on a project, and you're going to have to compromise and come to some sort of agreement, and that's a challenge sometimes for a lot of us, but it can be hugely powerful when we open our mind to it, because it can really help move our thinking on. And so I suppose what we're heading towards also is this idea of pedagogy, which is something that a professor called Howard Rheingold has kind of coined. And it's about the fact that the course is as much yours as it is mine. And though I'm the course leader and I've put this together, I don't really view myself so much as a teacher within the course, but more of a guide and a facilitator and a learner with you. I learned a lot out of the first version of the course myself, about independent learning and about the way students like to work and about what are the best ways to approach different things. And so this second version of the course is adapted. It has been edited and tweaked based on the feedback that I got from others. So this is as much the learner's course as it is mine. Taking that idea further, as you develop through the course and your skills grow, you'll be asked more and more to kind of collaborate and use different sorts of technology, but a lot of that will be open to you to decide. So you'll have opportunities to work with other people, and you'll have to kind of pick and choose what tools you use and what you think is the best way to approach a particular activity. And that's you then coming together with others and deciding your own route, your own path towards the end goal, which is to submit a particular assignment or publish a blog post. But how you get there, the journey, is up to you and your peers. It's not up to me. I will give you some suggestions, and I'll be there as a voice to lend support, but it is about you. It's about you deciding your path through the course. The course is built on, I suppose, 3 tenets. They come from a presentation that I saw last year by a professor called Catherine Cronin, and she tries to embody these kind of ideas within her own courses, and it's something that I've tried to bring in to my own classroom, and certainly they're the principles of which I've built this course. So the course is open. The Crit 101 blog is out there on the World Wide Web. Your blogs are out there on the World Wide Web. They're syndicated and connected, so there's no hiding. Whatever we're doing, how we're working together, what we're sharing is published and it's open and it's transparent. We can see it. Social media is very much at the heart of the course. I've mentioned that already, that Twitter is really important, but in a broader sense, the idea of just being social and connecting is part of the course as well. So it's how we connect, how we communicate, how we move ourselves forward. And then the idea of student voice and choice is also really, really important. There's going to be, you have complete freedom and choice in about how you approach the course to an extent. You certainly have a voice within the course, and I'll be asking for feedback from you every single week as we go along, just trying to gauge how the course is going, if there's ways that it can be improved, if there's things that you want to do, or and so on. So the course is about you, not really me. So those are the principles on which the course is built and what I hope it embodies. So this week, why Crit 101? I want to know why you signed up for the course. It's in the survey, so please answer that. And I want you to ask these questions. What is interdependent learning? Can you learn to be a better interdependent learner? Something I want you to kind of engage with. What do you see it as? What is your own personal opinion? Are you already a good independent learner or a good interdependent learner? Or is it something that, is that why you've signed up? It's something you need to kind of work on and improve. Do you think you can get better, or do you not think you can get better at it? Is there might there be barriers to it, things that are difficult to overcome? So that's something I want you to explore. One of the key ideas for this week, and I've put a video for you to watch. It's not particularly very long, but it's really interesting. Is an interview with a person called Dweck, and she has this idea of fixed and growth mindsets. And the idea is that sometimes people see themselves as being kind of fixed in their intelligence, and that they really can't grow or get better at things. They struggle with criticism, they tend to ignore it, they don't really see the point of putting effort in because they don't think they can do any better, things like that. And on the other hand, she believes that other people have what we call like a growth mindset, and it's that they do think they can develop their intelligence, that they tend to embrace challenges, they believe that effort is the path to success. They use feedback wisely and it helps them move on. So that's an interesting idea and something that I want you to engage with this week. So the reading for this week is as follows. Fixed versus growth mindsets with Dweck's video. And then someone who's becoming more and more famous as the years goes on, it seems. He just received a TED Award, but Siddhartha Mitra has done a lot of projects about how kids can teach themselves. And while there are some potential holes with his research, I think the principles which he talks about in this 2007 video are very interesting for you to think about as young learners, and to compare what you get in school day to day with what he sees education as potentially being. And it will I think it will really make you think. It will make you consider some really kind of profound questions about what education actually is. Very short video from Nottingham Trent University about the importance of independent learning and why you need it in higher education at university. Generally on resilience and how it's integral to independent learning. It's quite an interesting article. And then Howard Rheingold on this idea of pedagogy and people learning interdependently. So it's not just about independence, it's also about interdependence. So I want you to kind of read that. It's one of the articles that kind of inspired me to make this course and build it the way that I did. So that's your reading for the week. It's not exclusive. You might find other articles or things as you go along, but that is the main core of the reading for this week that I've provided for you. There are 2 Twitter discussions in this opening week. Normally it's just one, but we've got one on Monday. Between 8 and 8:30 p.m. It's just short. It's an opportunity to introduce yourselves, to meet your fellow participants, and to ask any questions that you've got right at the beginning of the course. So if there's something that isn't answered in this video, or it's not clear on the blog and you want to ask me, that's your opportunity on Monday between 8 and 8:30. On Wednesday we'll have our first full Twitter discussion. Each week they last for 1 hour. They are kind of led by me. I'll have a series of questions to kind of help move the discussion along, but it's an opportunity for you to connect with other people in the course and share your ideas, ask questions and put your concepts and thoughts out there, test things out before you commit to doing the week's assignments. Please don't forget to include Crit 101 in your tweets so they get recorded and they're all in one place. And as I said earlier, there'll be an archive of the discussion posted to the blog. So if you are unable to attend, you can kind of catch up with what was said. There might be links or ideas that are useful that might help move your thinking on. This week's assignment is really kind of short and straightforward because it is just the first week. It's orientation. It's about just getting you kind of thinking about why you're doing the course and what independent learning is. So I just want you to complete a short survey. It's an opportunity for you to reflect on your skills and your characteristics as a learner. So it's just an opportunity for you to kind of really think those ideas through. And it's also, in terms of this being part of my research, it's my first bit of data that I'll be collecting from you. It'll give me kind of an overview of who you are as learners and how I think maybe you're going to approach the course. Then you've got to do your blog post for this week. Blog posts can be as long or short as you feel they need to be. What I'll do each week is just give you a few questions, just to kind of help your thinking along. This week, how do you define independent learning? You might not agree with the way that I've defined it so far in this video. You might have your own thoughts. Independent learning or interdependent learning, are they one and the same thing? Are they interchangeable? That's up to you to decide. And do you think you can become a more independent or interdependent learner? I really want to know what you think about that. So that's your blog post for this week. Remember, that has to be in by 10 AM on Sunday. And then commenting. I want you to read and comment on the blog post of 3 to 4 other members who are doing the course. You'll get an email shortly with your comment group members in that email. So it will tell you their first name and give you their blog address. You only need to read the posts and work by those 3 or 4 individuals. You don't need to read everybody else's posts on the course. It would take too long. So this is a manageable way of just helping to ensure that there is some interaction, some feedback and support taking place within the course, because that's really, really important. It's really important in helping you move yourself forward, getting comments and feedback from other participants as well as myself. I'll certainly be reading people's posts and adding my thoughts as well, but dialogue is really important here. And again, I've just put another link there to the guidance that I suggested, so please look at the suggestions for ways to approach giving feedback. That's really quite important. So, we're almost done. Just a few things to remember. All the information for each week of the course can be found on the blog. Most of it is there already. I'm just tweaking a few bits as we go along, making sure it's as good as it can possibly be. All tweets can be found using the hashtag WK1, and please include that tag as a category or a label in your blog posts so they can be syndicated to the main blog, and please use the hashtag whenever you're tweeting. Please get to know your fellow participants. I really hope to see all of you online on Monday at 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time to have that initial discussion and say hello. And you can contact me at any time via email. You've all had an email from me, so you should know what my email address is, or you can get in touch with me on Twitter at JamesMickey. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can as you work your way through the course. And that, as they say, is that. And the video is going to end there. I will see you online very, very shortly.